Hi, everyone. A little bit of a strange start there. I wanted to try something a little weird. Um, I was messing around with sort of strange pure tone things, and I had done something that was a little bit stranger, like a really weird instrumental thing. But somehow I realized I had stumbled onto Living in Oblivion's chords, so I thought I would just try doing that. I didn't plan it at all. If it came out horrible, I'm sorry. I may have ruined some of you your favorite song there. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but oh, where. Anyway, so wait, you guys heard nothing? Oh no, that sucks. Well, that really sucks. Can you hear me now at all or no? Uh-oh. So you heard me now, but you didn't hear the beginning at all? Oh, man. That really sucks because it was cool. So you can hear the mic, but you can't hear this? You can't hear any sound as I'm playing? Can you hear that sound? Wow. Well, that really sucks. I don't know what happened. I think it has something to do with what I was doing on the other window. Can I try something? Hold on. Let me try going back. Tell me if this works. Ah, that sucks. Note to self. Remember all your settings because they may not carry over. So, you should be able to hear me now, right? And uh yeah, you should be able to hear me now. And maybe even see some of your chats going across the screen there. Oh man, I don't know if I can do that again. It was so hard the first time. Ah, all right. This is going to be a do-over. So hold on. We're going from the beginning. No. I'm going to have to edit this out. Well, maybe I'll do it faster or something. You can hide the pain. I can see it scrawled on your empty face, and I feel the hurt. It's in the words you say, they make me want to scream out to the world for taking life for granted. And I know You are by my side as I turn to hear you cry. I am so afraid of living in oblivion. I am so afraid of living in oblivion. Living in oblivion. Am I so blind, with my eyes turned to a different time, or at the end of the day, when we both run down and our hearts are heavy? Tell me what you will, 'cause I've got to know the truth inside of you. Can you hear what I say when I hold you and you scorn the day? I am so afraid of living in oblivion. I am so afraid of living in oblivion. Living in oblivion. Living in oblivion. So I ask again, am I so alone and full of pride to never speak out? This is my world, this is my world. Don't tell me now, I won't feel those words, I won't feel the lies they tell. Can you hear my heart scream? It's for everyone, now everyone. I am so afraid of living in oblivion. I am so afraid of living in oblivion. Living in oblivion. Living in oblivion. So that was what I was trying to do earlier. I think I did it better this time, but no one will ever know. We'll see. Anyway. That was an experiment. I hope it went okay. I can't tell. So everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong. So, hi. We're here. At least we're here, right? At least we're here. Let's see. This is interesting. Let me try something. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try something. Yes, we might as well save that. Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like that's working at all. Okay, never mind. I will figure it out next time. I'm going to try to figure out a way to put the chats on the screen. I almost had figured it out, but I don't think we better do it while I'm doing the stream. That's not a good idea. It doesn't make for more subscribers if they see me like effing around with the settings while I'm trying to do a stream. It's so funny. I cracked myself up. But hi, Hidden Souls. Hi, Fadmacia. Hi, Claudio. Hi, Jose. Lalo. Nice. Earn Loyalty. Emilio, thank you. Thank you for being in the house. Joshua. Vega. We're all in the house. Good. Because that was it. I'm leaving. And that was all, folks. I'm kidding. It's been a harder week this week because there was so much stuff going on that I kind of lost my way trying to catch up with life. But we're here. And so I wanted to, last week, some of you were asking me to do another diary thing. And at first, I wasn't really sure if it was even worth doing one of those. So I was going to kind of not do it. But then again, I didn't have anything else to do. But different things happened. So I was thinking about the association. Well, there's a lot of things we're going to talk about tonight. This weird dream that I had last night that was really weird. Very profound. Is actually one of the coolest dreams I've ever had. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do that right after we come back and I play a song or something. But at any rate, it was supposed to be the first thing I talked about. But who cares? What I thought I would do is everyone knows that from day one, ABOX used an Ensoniq ESQ1 for the non-synth nerds. It's an old digital / analog hybrid synth from the 1980s. And ABOX has pretty much used it on every single album, etc., etc., except that there have been a few exceptions where I used exclusively other things. So I was thinking about the diary and how it was a diversion from the normal ABOX stuff. And that actually happened because of me playing with different instruments. So as an example, when I started the stream tonight, I wanted to use Reaktor and some Pure Tones to do a different version of Living in Oblivion to show you that there's different aspects to the way that one can manipulate sound and use sound. So the ESQ is not the only thing I ever use. So I wanted to showcase some songs where I thought that other instruments played a larger role. So that's kind of like the thing I was going for. Kind of like anything box and dress up, because that's all I could think of. Sorry. I know it's Halloween tomorrow, but I did bring the skull. It's sitting right there. So I'll bring it out in a minute. We'll show the skull. Actually, while we play the next song, and I do have a goblet that looks like like it's filled with blood, but it isn't. Or maybe it is. That'll start some rumors, but at any rate, thanks for being here, and let's get a song. Let's see. Which ones did I bring? Because I did some weird stuff today, so. Oh, yeah. So, okay. So, an example of a song that came from the Worth era. Did I put it in there actually? Uh-oh. No, maybe not. Oh, yeah, it's there. So, there's a song from the Worth era that I wrote entirely on a Korg T3, or better spoken, T1, because we had both. And it was the first major add-on to the studio when we were getting ready to go out to Germany. So obviously I was enamored of having something new, so I was going to try all these different things. And this is one of the first songs I wrote on it. And it has, I believe, we'll listen together and I'll tell you if it's in there, but I believe that this has no ESQ whatsoever. So it's one of those weird things. Like, it's just one of those weird things. So I'm going to put on the UFO cam, go find the skull. And of course, you don't know which song I'm talking about, but it's this one. So yeah, no ESQ on that. Um, ah, why are you repeating? No! Ah, is everything going to go like this today? Oh, man. Ah, ah, sorry. I was set to loop. Yes. Um, I'm messing all this up. Ah, that beginning better have been worth it, Claude. Oh, man. Because now I'm all messed up. Anyway. So, um, yeah, there's no ESQ in that song at all. The entire song was the T3, and I had just gotten uh, not the emulator, but it was the Proteus. It was the Proteus XR, one of those. And so I had basically used those sounds, and I had avoided the ESQ only because I was trying to get out of my comfort zone. So, you know, uh-oh, did the video freeze again? No. Well, so far so good. But so yeah, so as a result, I wound up, just using that a lot on the Worth album. And then we obviously went to Germany with all our gear and everything. We took everything there, but the ESQ saw less usage on Worth than on the previous. And then it kind of came back a little bit, full time back during the Hope album. But there's a song on the Hope album that has no ESQ in it, and I'm going to play that one too. But first, I need to do something. So, yeah, this is me like messing up royally tonight. So you got to excuse me. I'm messing everything up. So, yeah, I'm going to put that right there. I hope you can see it. We're going to put it in the little corner. And no, it's not trying to say it's a red that that Shiba Inu is a red flag. It's not. But it certainly looks like it right there. But so I'm going to talk a little bit about Shibu before we get into the weirder stuff, because obviously we do talk about music and all kinds of weird stuff when I'm on the stream. But this is one that's been happening this week, and very interestingly, I had not owned any until I came home from the New Jersey gig. So the story is that when I was in Jersey, I was having breakfast with my friend Mikey and Rui. And Rui brought up Shibu Inu. And he told me how very, very undervalued it was and how very inexpensive it was. So I came home and I made a $45 bet. Well, I'm going to tell you that my $45 wound up making me $200, and then I put a little more money into it, and I think I've made about $800 on it so far. So it is one to watch. I'm not kidding. It's crazy. I now own 10 million 200. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to do, but it's funny. It's been Shibu Inu all week. And for anyone from the Shibu Army who's watching, hi, thank you, and I'm in. I'm in. It's fun. It's a fun coin. That's not the one that I would invest all my money in, but it's a fun coin. So it's one of those fun things to have. And it's on Coinbase, so if you're on Coinbase, you can grab it real quick. It's just, I don't know. Do I recommend it? Well, it's not going to change the world, but it may change your life if it goes to a penny. Can it go to a penny? That's an interesting thought. But I'm going to tell you something about that potential. So I was on a 6-hour flight once, and someone might have to help me here because I can't remember the name of the game show. But do you guys remember the game show where they open up like 25 briefcases, and every briefcase has a different amount of money in it. Do you guys remember that game show? I think it was, oh man, I can't remember what the hell it was. Um, but for the sake of the story, yeah, Deal or No Deal. Yes, that's the one. Thank you. Memory. But Deal or No Deal. So I once watched Deal or No Deal for almost 7 hours straight because I was on a flight. And I was intrigued by something that I kept seeing over and over. I'm really good at detecting patterns. So here's like the premise of the game from what I remember. They show you these briefcases, and as you open them, depending on the amount of money that's in there, the bank offers you a counter offer. So for example, if someone opens the briefcase and there's $25 in it, you automatically get the $25. If it's $500, you get the $500. But if for some reason a case opens up where it's like $50,000, the bank comes in and makes you an offer and says, if you stop right now, we'll tack on an extra 10 grand and we'll give you 60 grand if you quit right now. And, or you take a chance on the next, briefcase. Now, here's what happened in the 7 hours that I watched it. Here's the interesting pattern that I picked up on. No one took the offer almost ever at the beginning or at the midway point. Never. That means that when it got to like $500,000, I would have thought that someone was going to take the offer from the bank. So let me give you an example. And I saw a few of these. When a person got to like, let's say 500,000, the bank would say, I'll give you $600,000 if you walk away right now. And the person wouldn't walk away. And the next briefcase, of course, would have like $5 or whatever it was. And, the whole thing would go downhill from there. So the entire 7 hours that I watched this, I realized that the middle curve that was happening, no one was aware of that middle curve. I kept telling myself that if I was on that show, I'd be like, okay, midway point coming up. I've done 10 briefcases. The next one is going to be like $300,000. They offer me $100,000 over that. I'm taking it. But you know that nobody ever took those deals. So what does this have to do with Shiba Inu? You have to balance your greed with what you think is going to happen. So can Shiba Inu go to 1 cent? And let me explain to you what that means. If Shiba Inu goes to 1 cent, which eventually someday it might, but when it does, if you own 10 million of them, you will have $1 million. That's the general case scenario that everybody wants to have it, to have it hit. My thing is, wait till it's 1/4 cent. Wait till it's at that halfway point, because that's that weird point where that's that briefcase in the middle of the show. So when it hits that bell curve and you're like, $500,000, or do I wait until I hit $1 million? Take the $500,000. Would you please? Because the bell curve after that goes down. Now, this isn't financial advice. I'm just telling you what I've seen in patterns. And I'm good at looking at patterns. I can see the pattern. When it hits to an amount where you're comfortable walking away from it, and you made your money back and you're very comfortable with what you're walking away with, please do it. You won't regret it. Even if the next, we're going to call it the briefcase, even if the next briefcase was that $1 million, it could very easily have been nothing. So it's a very high risk. So it's not a coin that I would play around with more than just investing a little bit of money in it. Think of it as kind of like a horse race bet you just made, and we'll see what happens, but don't put a lot of money into it unless you're, you know, unless it's FU money and you're willing to lose it. You got to be willing to lose that money. But yeah, as Steve is saying, hi Steve, by the way, the pattern was greed. Even though the odds were always stacked against them, they always had their eyes on the bigger prize. The risk is fun, but caution is often the better choice. When it comes to that kind of thing, I completely agree. Like I said, I watched this show for 6 hours straight, episode after episode. No one ever got the $1 million. Almost everyone got an offer of over $200,000 to $350,000, and they failed to take it. So, yeah, and they lost it all. So, with Shiba Inu, it's a great coin. I love it. I do think it has a lot of use case, which is a very big difference between it and Doge, by the way. Doge has an endless supply. Shibu does not. There are no smart contracts for Shibu. Shibu runs on Ethereum, so there are smart contracts. They're building an NFT marketplace with it and a bunch of other things. So, Wendy, I agree with you. I don't like gambling at all. But this is different. I kind of take it as a little funny risk. So, you know, I would say don't go any further than that. But anyway, so that's the Shiba Inu story. But it's been crazy this week. I mean, I was watching it hour by hour, and I was just amazed at like how that coin was moving. So anyway, no more talk about the little, you know. So I will make sure that. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, Shibu. I'll make sure that we're not really talking about it anymore. All right, so I'm going to play a song, and then we'll come back, and then we'll talk about the dream I had, which is a little weird. So this song is from the Hope album, and it has absolutely no ESQ1 in it. This was almost entirely written with a Korg T3 and my emulator, because by then we had the emulator. And see if you can guess what was doing what. It's a favorite too. A lot of people like this one. Oh, yeah. The radio sounds at the end. The radio sounds at the end were um, that Proteus thing. No! Okay, now you. Okay, now I fixed it. Now it's not gonna like shoot anything out. It's not supposed to. Oh my gosh. I'm messing this up royally. I'm usually not this nutty on this thing. Oh, and Shibu's still on. We'll turn that back on when we need it. So yeah, the radio bits came from my not my emulator, but my Emu Proteus X XR, one of those. It was one of the Proteuses because I had a couple. But Fega asked a question, I'm going to answer it. T3 versus T1. So it's the same keyboard, by the way, but the T1 was the 88 key version, so it's the big, heavy thing. I bought this, of course, and then I realized we were going to have to go to Berlin to record, and we didn't want to take the T1 with us, obviously, so we wound up buying a T3. And what was interesting about that purchase is we wound up buying two of them. So at one point, Danya had a T3, I had a T3, and we also had a T1 that was in the studio. So it got a lot of use. So obviously, you know, when you spend a lot of money or invest a lot of money in your gear, you're going to use some of it. So, or you should. Not everyone does, but you should. So when I say it was T3 or T1, it could have been one or the other because both of them, or I should say all three of them, had all the same sound banks in it. Once I made this, I made sound design. Once I did the sound design on the main one, which was the T1, that was ported over to the other two. So I used those interchangeably, but I had the T3 much longer. So I'll always say T3, even though it might have been a T1, but it's just it's basically the M1's next step. So I was both an M1 fan and an ESQ fan. It's kind of like I don't know if you know, but in the late 80s, it's really funny about that too. You were either doing Korg or you were doing the Ensoniq. There was like a little bit of rivalry between the two because they were the first real multi-timbral things, and they were competing against each other. So I was doing both. So I never really had. I had more of a preference to the ESQ because I could program it really well. But I was in love with the T3, and obviously we're going to get into why and all that stuff. But about my dream. So last night, or I should say more towards this morning, I had a very, very profound dream. It was really strange. Basically, I was running through, it looked like a field. And when I reached the end of this field, it was sort of like, think of the Great Wall of China. It was that kind of it was a sort of rock path, right? And it went up this hill. But it seemed like everywhere that, like along this path, there were doors. And they were freestanding doors. So like if you saw this in a movie, it would just look really cool. They were freestanding doors everywhere. And what I would do is I would go through each one. And when I did, I would be in an alternate reality. And so I was in a futuristic reality. I wound up going backwards in time. And I was in like these crazy different landscapes. But this is what was strange. As I would go through the door and experience the place and get a feel for it, I would wind up going back through the door. And then when I came through the door, I would wake up and I would be in my bed. So I thought every time that I had woken up as if it were like, not a nightmare, but it's one of those things where you just wake up. But it wasn't. It was like me being in bed was part of the dream itself. So I thought I was awake, but I wasn't. So I would get up out of bed and leave what I thought was my room and be in a different place. And it was like this really strange maze of different experiences. And in one case, I went up to a mirror and I looked in the mirror and it wasn't me at all. I was a different person. And I realized that whoever I was in this other reality, it physically wasn't me. And it was very lucid. Oh, Carmela, hi. Yeah, it was very, very lucid. Um, where it was as if I was there. And so I kind of started to take control of it, where I was like, I'm going to create other doors. And so I would just be on this path and I would go through these different doors. And I was just, I don't know, it was so much fun that when I woke up for real, it was an exhilaration. Like I had been on some really, really cool adventure and that it had been real. Like it felt so real. So, and I have no explanation as to why yesterday night in particular, I had a lucid dream. Nothing was weird about what I ate. I didn't do any drinking. I wasn't, doing no chemicals. So it was just a normal night. In fact, the only thing I had watched on TV was just normal news. So, um, nothing, nothing that I could relate to as to why, but some of the things I saw were just incredible. But I think they're related. When I woke up, I realized that there is a relation. I'm going to get into that. Well, about a year ago, when the pandemic was just starting, I decided to tackle an old fear of mine, and it's a real fear, um, and it's not that I had a fear of drowning, because I think I said that I had a fear of drowning, and it's not that I had a fear of drowning. It's that I had drowned. When I was a kid, I drowned. So because I drowned, I would have this really odd relationship with water. I love swimming, I love being in water, but I can't drink it. Whenever I would drink water, my gag reflex would start and I would feel like I was drowning. So obviously, not good for your health if you can't drink water, right? So for many years, the only way that I could drink water was to somehow mask it. I would have to put sugar in it. I would have to make it into tea. I would have to make lemonade. I could not drink normal water. There was an exception. The exception was I was able to drink water if I was on stage and I get so thirsty that, you have to drink water. And those moments, and I think it's because I'm stressed out and I'm, dealing with the stage stuff, that I think that would bypass it. But I couldn't do it in normal life. Like if I was just sitting around and I was thirsty, I'd have to go find iced tea somewhere. I'd have to make something. I couldn't just drink water. Could be sitting right there, couldn't do it. So it was a big problem. So in 2020, I decided that I would tackle this problem and that I would try some self-hypnosis techniques and things of that nature, meditation, just different experiments. One of the things I stumbled onto was something called Psych K, which is very interesting. It would take way too long to explain what it is in detail, but basically it's a reprogramming of the way your brain reacts to things. And it's very, very, very powerful and it does work. So I learned about this as much as I could learn. And basically, well, I can show you one example of it. And, so for example, there's a test that psychologists do on people. And it's if you lie to yourself, right? So you put your fingers together like this, right? And you have a chain. So if I say, my name is Claude, my name is Claude, my name is Claude, that chain doesn't get broken. The minute I lie, right? If I say, my name is Claude, my name is Claude, my name is Mike. Did you see what happened? My name is Claude, my name is Claude, my name is Mike. Whenever I tell a lie, subconsciously it breaks that chain. And so I learned how to adapt that stuff into my psyche with water. And I'm going to tell you, it took about half an hour. And after that, I came home, I drank water, didn't have the gag reflex, and I've been able to drink water ever since. It worked for me. So I never paid to do it. I just learned. I had to like really research and learn how to do it, but I did it. So because that worked, I thought, what else can I do? So I did these weird experiments where I would give myself, for lack of a better word, superpowers. I was like, well, I'm gonna always have a way to break through creative blocks, and I'm gonna figure out a way to go through and break creative blocks. I think I'm gonna have to learn how to speak better, and that will be the next one. Although it does work if I do the accent, it seems that I can do much better. But whatever. So anyway, it works. And so I do this thing where I started doing bullet journaling. So that's another thing that I started doing. But that I started doing before the pandemic. And but during the pandemic, after I started studying all the Psych-K stuff, I started to notice that my ideas or the way that I see things is very different than it was many, many years ago. So bullet journaling is the practice. Bullet journaling just basically means, well, it's hard to explain. That's another thing I could explain, but I should. But bullet journaling is good. Basically, it means that you're going to write a short journal page, but you keep an index so that you know exactly what you wrote. And I find that actually helps to get me focused a little bit, because I can lose focus because I have so many ideas. And I also multiplied those ideas by a millionfold by trying these weird experiments. So what happens is when I sit down and I write, these are my 20 ideas for new art or art techniques or music techniques, they just start coming and I just start writing them. So I have like hundreds of these. So, it's a funny thing. It's the funniest thing in the world. So I think that because I have been doing the journals a lot, that may have spurred that dream. And instead of ideas, it got replaced by locales or localities, because it was bizarre how real it felt and how in control I was of the actual traveling. So it makes for good, I don't know. I'm dying to go to sleep. I'm going to see what happens tonight, but it was unplanned, but it happened. But it was profound. It was profound because I saw myself as a different human being in different localities. And I thought that was very interesting because it helped me to see that in the end, we're all the same. We all have dreams. We all have problems. We all have difficulties, successes, wants, desires. So in a sense, we're all the same. We're all from the same place. And that's sort of what I got out of it. So anyway, I was all over the place with that explanation, but maybe when we come back, I'll be better. Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway, so I'm going to play a remix now. Well, before we get in, no, actually, I'm not going to play. I'm going to play one of the darker things because I thought I should play some darker things too. So this song is from The Diary. So The Diary, for those that don't know, is a side project of mine where I decided I would just go more into a pseudo punk gothic realm. And that was my goal, that everything was going to be in, that realm. And so, of course, because it was the diary, I avoided the ESQ altogether. But what I found out was that I also wanted to avoid most of the synths altogether. But I did need what I would consider my core sounds. So what I did is I spent about a month doing this. And I created an entire array of guitars that was going to be used for only that record. That was the intention. So I made, I don't know, I want to say half a dozen or so different guitar tones and put them through different effects. And this was going to be the guitar sound that I was looking for. And all of it was really my T3 when it wasn't a real guitar. It was the T3. And it kind of moved me in a certain direction. So I'm going to play a song from that time. This is called Contempt. Yes, it's called Contempt. And so there is no ESQ on this. Oh boy. So yeah, that's so funny. Who needs guitars anyway? That's so funny, Techno Man. Hi, Technoman. Thank you for that. Um, yeah, sort of Joy Division meets the Mighty Lemon Drops. Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, for sure. There was definitely Joy Division influences in that. I can tell you that that's true. I would I would have to admit that. Yes. Um, Considering there's a Joy Division cover in the on that album. But um, but the main idea was that the diary would go into these weird directions and that Anything Box was not going to do it. But of course, we wound up absorbing those sounds and now it's kind of a mishmash. But um, the first diary album stands on just those sounds, which is kind of cool. So that's one of the things I liked. And this week, if you saw my posts, I wanted to play with those sounds again, and I was really jonesing. And I've been trying to recreate them, and I've had I'd had close to zero luck. Now I've gotten close enough that I could say, "Oh wow, I have new guitar sounds that I made," but not quite like those. Those were wild because of a stacking thing that I was able to do inside of the T3. So I found the M1 plugin, and it does do that, and it does it exactly the same way. And the T3 cards are in there, so I was able to find the exact sounds to make the sound again, and I was playing around. So it's gonna be mine. I'm gonna wind up investing in it and getting that plugin because I like it. Which means maybe diary stuff will happen again. I don't know, or maybe it'll be on the next Anything Box album. I have no idea. All I know is I wanted to play with those guitar sounds again. But so yeah. Anyway, getting back to the conversation about dreams, I find that normally, I don't know how your dreams are, so feel free to tell me how your dreams are. I definitely want to hear what your dreams are about. So tell me the most profound dream you've ever had and put it in the comments below. God, I sound like a YouTuber and I'm not trying to be. But anyway, yeah, put them there. I'm not a YouTuber. I don't want to be a YouTuber. These things were just get togethers for all of us during the pandemic, and it kind of just continues for the moment. Josh, I'm seeing the comments, yes, but they go up so fast that I'll miss them. So if you have a question, type it quick, or copy and paste it, because it's coming in from all these different places. So it's literally like just scrolling by, and it's hard to keep up with all of them. So I tend to look over there, and then suddenly, so anyway, so yeah, so please, yeah. Uh, oh, I see. Do you want me to read it in Spanish? Is that what you're trying to do? But yes, he writes, Joshua on Facebook writes, Anything Box son mi soundtrack de mis años de high school. That makes me feel viejo, but yes. I understand. I understand. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Of course. Oh, and by the way, Joshua, happy birthday. So, but so yeah, so uh, on occasion, I'll come up with an idea that I'll have to try a new instrument or I'll have to move to a different instrument to grab some ideas. Not because I'm without ideas with the older instruments. Believe me, I have enough to keep me busy for a long time. But I do it just kind of get out of my comfort zone. So I'll play with something for a little while and then something will happen and then maybe nothing will happen because God knows. I wound up buying this thing and I don't think I use it at all. Like I used it for two things and then it was over. So obviously new things, just because you get something new doesn't mean you're going to stick to it. So I'm not that guy. I tend to dig deep into the instruments that I love. So why I ever sold the T3, I have no idea. But anyway, I'm happy to have the opportunity to have it back. And so it's going to come back into the fold. And because everything else I kept, I have the ESQ in software now, but I have it. All my sounds are there. My Emulator 3, before I sold it, I took every single CD-ROM and as well as other things that I might have had in there. And I converted them all to my current sampler, which is Contact. I do use Contact. So Lalo asks, what's first, music or lyrics? Usually music, but I don't tend to work on full arrangements and then like try to work on the arrangement of a song and have it all laid out with all its parts, and then suddenly it's like, now let's sing something. That's not how it works. For me, it's sort of like I'm writing as I'm playing. So simple chords, 2 or 3 notes. I've got an idea for a song. I start building from there. I don't like to pre-build a music. I've done it where I've built an entire music track and then I don't feel like writing at all. And then the whole thing goes to waste. I've done it. So I think that Bramble Davis says, I was preoccupied, but I was listening to Pandora for a minute. What was that last song? Oh, that was from the diary, page 1. Contempt. That's what it's called. But so no, music usually comes first. But it's funny. I've done it where I'm all day trying to play something and nothing happens. And then I'll just casually walk over to the key, play 1 note, and suddenly there's something. So I guess the best way to, if you're looking for inspiration, my go-to response is always just do the work. Meaning play every day, practice every day, and you will write something. If you're trying to just write and be inspired to write, that's not going to happen. I'm sorry. It doesn't really work that way. Like, you'll find out that if you really just hammer away, things come. And it's meant to be that way. You're supposed to exercise your demons as you are exercising your chops. And I think that together is where songs come from. That's my opinion. But, obviously some people will do full-on music tracks, give it to someone, and they'll have ideas. That's different. But me personally, I don't operate that way. I have to play and kind of feel something. And if I feel something, it'll just come out and I don't have to worry about it. And that just seems to be happening more recently. So I don't have to, I don't think about it. I just do it. And then, but anyway, I'm going to play a song. I'm going to play another one from the diary. So this one's a really simple song, but I like it a lot because it's, I don't know why. This is one of those that just kind of stuck with me from page 1. And I was listening to it the other day, and this is the one when I was listening to it that got me thinking about the guitar sounds again, because this one, they're particularly dirty. So anyway, I'm going to play this song and then I'll come back and hopefully you're still here. This one's called All Dreams Must End.
Many
So all dreams must end. Um, so another reason that I did that record, which I never really talk about it this way because it's not it's not common knowledge, but another reason that I did that record was that uh, it was a way to write simpler material, meaning where I wasn't as concerned with major production. So it was very simple to have 2 or 3 instruments that fill the space by them being so big. And then the voice takes over, and then that's all you need. So I'm a big fan of this, by the way, doing that kind of stuff. But I never did it with the electronics because I was always concerned that in the electronic world, that was considered too simple. And so the diary was a way of doing like just more loosely fitting material, right? But eventually I outgrew that stigma. Now I don't care. Like now I really don't care. It could be one tone and a voiceover, and I'm happy. If it's fine, I'm fine. I'm very into minimalism. So when it comes to music nowadays, so I think of it like this: I'd rather have one really huge sound and a vocal than 100 little sounds competing, and it's just like a mess. Like to me, like most pop production right now sounds like a mess. Like I hear so much stuff that it actually doesn't take me on a journey anymore. So I tend to push back against that. So I was remembering this week about how much I loved that approach when I was doing these, and so therefore missed my guitar sounds. But anyway, what are we going to play? What are we going to play? Oh, we're going to talk some more. So today I had someone send me an email. So I wanted to, I'm not going to read the email. I'm just going to talk about some of the little contents that were in the email. And I happened to see this on Twitter as well. So, and I wound up in this conversation about the NFT space. Nothing bad, nothing negative really. But people were asking me if I was going to put anything on the ETH platform. In other words, OpenSea, Mintable, all that stuff. And the answer to that is yes, in time I will. The only reason that I haven't done it, the only reason I haven't done NFTs in that space is because the damn gas fees are too high. I bought an NFT domain, which, by the way, that is a thing. I reserved a couple of them, and it cost me $20. That's the general gist of, those domains. But the gas fee to just be able to put a link in it was going to be about $4,000. And I just couldn't see myself minting an NFT that, forget about how much the person's willing to pay for it, that the gas fee to transfer it to their wallet was going to cost between $200, $300 on a given day. Or as I found out, just to try something was going to be like $4,000. No way. And although I love ETH and I do hold it, and I think it's a wonderful platform. I mean, it's the number 2 crypto in the world. So obviously it's valuable, and obviously it's for a reason. The ecosystem built around it is fantastic, but come on, guys. They have to have that. They have to get the gas fees under control. Otherwise, it's just not doable. And so for the time being, I am not minting on ETH. So it's just not feasible. But I did try some out. And so I'm going to put it on the chat. I'm going to tell you the ones to look out for because I'm already there. I haven't really minted anything yet in these particular places, but these are the ones that I feel are good for artists. So I'm going to give you the first one, which is this one. I think it's important if you're into this sort of thing. Uh-oh, did I lose a chat? No, I did not. Thank you. So that's the first one. Takun is a Cardano-based NFT site, and I joined it. That's obviously my profile there. So I found out that, for example, the gas fee is about $2. So that's doable. That's doable for a collector or a fan. I don't want, I'm not saying that all the NFTs are going to be free, mind you. It's not about free NFTs. But I think that it's very important that the gas fees be minimal if you want to get collectors in. So if you're new to the space and you're trying to get in, I mean, ETH is got a reputation, but man, the gas fees are going to kill you. So the Cardano-based NFTs are a good bet. So that's one of the sites that I joined. And I also, where is it? I just had it. I also told this person about, I thought this one was exciting too, because it was weird. Lightmint, which is based on stellar lumens, which are, I mean, it's like 3 cents to mint. So if you're just getting started in the NFT space, that's a really good one. Of course, I'm a fan of Wax, so obviously that's worked really well for me. Oh, good night, Wendy. Sorry that you're leaving us. But we'll see you next time. We will see you next time. I hope. But yeah, so the XLM based NFTs are going to be, I think, a big deal when the Coinbase thing rolls out. So I'm keeping an eye on it. Join that one too. And then the last one is a very interesting one to me. This one, sorry. This is about as experimental as you can get. That one is called Relay X, and that one does BSV-based NFT. BSV is an offshoot of Bitcoin. It basically stands for Bitcoin's Satoshi Vision, which is a more scalable version of Bitcoin. And what I did like about this particular site is that the NFT will live on chain, which is very interesting to me. So I will be minting on these 3 sites. So Cardano, Wax, BSV, Stellar Lumens, that kind of thing, but not ETH, not for now. It could change, but at the moment, no. So that's my answer for that. Anyway, that's enough of that stuff. Although I do love it. I do. I spent a lot of time on it this week. And by the way, people, oh, congratulations, Bramble Davis. He's up 1,000% on Shiba as of now. That's awesome, man. Keep it going. Keep it going. But don't be greedy, but just keep it going. But yeah, no, I've been on this trip this week, learning new bits of code and learning how to do certain things that I will reveal soon. There will be different ways to collect NFTs, and I'm gonna be definitely into it. And I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it for the long haul. I really love the idea of my work being eternal on the blockchain. That's my real motivation. And maybe that's why I had that dream. Maybe I was looking at different realms of existence. I had this thought, by the way, that when I woke up from the dream, that maybe that was what death is like. So if it is, then I'm all for it. I mean, not soon, but it was a good adventure. Let me put it to you that way. It was a good adventure. So, let's play a song. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So this song is from The Diary, from the second album on The Diary. What separates this one from the first one, again, no ESQ, but the strings from the emulator started to creep in. And I did wind up using the bass. But what's interesting on this one is I played a real guitar. So this is my real SG and some of the T3 guitars. And I've always liked this one, but you kind of can see where it's starting to get into Anything Box territory, kind of. I don't know, but sort of. Anyway, Everything Ends.
Searching for sympathy, urgency, decency, all the while in agony. Everything ends, but no one pays attention. Happens all the time. Everything ends, but no one pays attention. Happens all the time. It happens all the time. All this dying all around, hard to read aloud, but it makes sound. Screaming all within my head. Listen to the voice that says everything ends, but no one pays attention. Happens all the time. Everything ends, but no one pays attention. Happens all the time. Everything ends, but no one pays attention. Happens all the time. Everything ends, but no one pays attention. Happens all the time. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. Happens all the time.
So yes, that would be a nice favor. Subscribe if you haven't, and if you're enjoying this kind of thing. I don't know what I'm going to do with this channel, but I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just a guy that makes music and art. But I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with it. It's whatever it is, it is. So next week, it's almost over, by the way. It is almost over. But next week, I'm going to do a full-on rehearsal because I have rehearsals coming up. So next week, very little talk, just rehearsing. So I think if you want, put your set list down there. And next week, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through like 10, 15 songs and rehearse because I need to do that. And rehearsals begin for the shows. So I would say that next week will be a little more fun than this week. I don't know. But tomorrow is Halloween. And I want you to enjoy your Halloween. I'm going to enjoy my Halloween. I think tomorrow I'm going to take more pictures of this thing. And maybe I'll do something with it. I'm not sure. But it's nice to have the skull visiting today. Brambles asking me, are you going on tour yet? It's happening at the end of November. I'm starting. It's a bunch of cities. I'll have to, on the video, when I put the video in, I will put a link to where all the shows are, because you can find it on anythingbox.com/shows, I believe, and it shows up. But if not, it's anythingbox.com/ I never remember these things. But yeah, it's on the main site. You'll see it. There's a lot of shows coming. Oh, and I put a link to the shows also on Bandcamp, on the Bandcamp page. So if you're there, you'll find the link to all the shows. Yes, the Imperial Valley show is happening. It's December. Don't quote me. I'll tell you next week, because I just got the flyer and I haven't posted it yet. So since that one's the furthest one out before the year ends, I'm not in a hurry to post it, but I will. But yes, I am coming to Houston in December. Sorry, November. But don't ask me the dates, because I'm not going to remember them now. But they're there. Wait, did I put them on here? Maybe I have them. Hold on. Oh, this is going to be good, maybe bad. Nope. Nope, I don't have them. I don't have the dates. Not in front of me, my friend. I will have to post them when I can. But yeah, there's quite a few. Chicago's in there, Dallas. Oh, thank you, Todd. Thank you so much for that. Yep, that's it. That's the link. So there's only one show missing there, which is the one from Imperial Valley, but that one will be there by this weekend. It should show up. It takes a while for them to populate. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed yourselves for a little while with me. I am keeping it a little shorter tonight. But I'm happy that you guys spent some time with me, and we went down a little bit of a rabbit hole on diary instruments and the lack of real guitars on the first Diary album, which, by the way, I'm going to tell you something funny, a funny aspect of that story that's not often told. So the first Diary album is basically bass, drums, and guitars where everything is synthetic, right? The second Diary album is the drums are mostly real and acoustic, and the guitars are half synthesized. And the third Diary album is a full-on 1920s blues album. It's only real guitars and vocal and no drums. So that's kind of the experimentation of being able to, do something under a different name, right? But more lately, I think I've gotten more into the idea of being comfortable in that a box is a box and it can do whatever it wants. So obviously, no holds barred now. But it's funny, when I write a song and it has that certain guitar, I automatically think to Diary. So it's funny. So it could happen that there will be more Diary stuff. I don't know. I hope so, because it might be fun. One thing I like about it, it's kind of consistent in its own way. So anyway, thank you for being here. I'm not going to end with a song of my own. I'm going to end with a song that is a Diary song, but it was done by my friend here, Vega and Claudio, both of them. Sorry, NMD did this. And I'm going to end with this one. It's one of my favorite Diary songs, but I like how they did it. So I thought I would play that, and that's going to be the end. And it, of course, has no ESQ because they don't own one. At least I don't think they put an ESQ on this one. But I'm going to play it because it did a really good job with this one. So I'm going to play it, and that's going to be the end of tonight. And I really, really hope that your dreams are lucid tonight. I'm going to make it so. Your dreams are going to be lucid. No ESQ. Good. So I didn't tell a lie. So here you go. This, sorry, I almost took it out of here. So this is because, the song Because by the band NMD. And that's how we're going to end our night. And I want you guys to take care of each other, be good to each other, have good conversations, listen to the other side, talk, and most importantly, enjoy your Halloween tomorrow. Enjoy it. In whatever way you need to enjoy it, enjoy it. I almost wish I was a kid and I would get dressed up, but I'm not a kid anymore. But I will enjoy it. I'm going to make it a point to watch the scariest movie I can watch tomorrow. That's going to be my Halloween. But anyway, without further ado, Because.
Because you're afraid, you live in the darkness. Because you're alone, you think no one hears you, but I'm still alive. And I'm not afraid. I'm still alive. And I'm here to listen to anything you say. Anything you need. Anything you want. Anything you please. Because I love you. I'm not afraid. Because I love you. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid.
And with that, I say good night.
I'm part of it. Can't you see it?